Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're exploring an absolutely incredible thought experiment today. What if a single historical variable, an alien arrival in the 14th century, completely rewrote the trajectory of human civilization? We're going to unpack a fascinating collision between cosmic technology and medieval theology, basically looking at what happens if the timeline of human history just splits right down the middle during the height of the Middle Ages.
So, picture this. Imagine a massive, sleek starship suddenly descending over a 14th century European kingdom, or maybe hovering completely silently over the bustling streets of Abbasid Baghdad. It drops us right into an unimaginable culture clash. We aren't talking about a modern first contact scenario here, where scientists with telescopes are ready and waiting. No way. We are dropping highly advanced beings right into a world governed entirely by kings, empires, and ancient faiths.
This brings us to Section 1, the Day of Judgment, a collision of cosmic technology and medieval theology.
To a medieval population, people who explain the universe entirely through divine intervention and astrology, this event wouldn't just be surprising, it would spark profound existential panic. They absolutely wouldn't see this as an encounter with biological extraterrestrials. When metallic ships defy gravity and beings stepped out with blinding energy, man, that would instantly be interpreted as the literal Day of Judgment. The irony here is just wild. You have this highly evolved, peaceful, post-scarcity alien society stepping off their ship only to be immediately classified by us as an army of apocalyptic demons.
You can just picture the immediate, chaotic reaction. The church and medieval rulers would fall into absolute panic. Sure, there'd be desperate attempts at communication, but also, inevitably, warfare. Desperate kings would launch their absolute best defenses. Imagine knights in heavy iron armor, mounted on horseback, charging toward the landing zones with swords and lances raised. But their weapons would just effortlessly melt or dissolve against the starship's defensive energy fields. It's literally the ultimate reality check for earthly power. Centuries of military dominance rendered completely obsolete in a matter of seconds.
And that immediate panic leads directly into our second section, chaos and cosmic cults, and the collapse of the feudal order.
Because these extraterrestrials possess a post-scarcity society, they don't even have to fire a single weapon to conquer us. Honestly, their mere presence breaks the world. Earthly powers would shatter overnight. The Holy Roman Empire, the Byzantine remnants, the Islamic caliphates, they'd all be scrambling to completely rewrite their theology just to account for these visitors. And feudal authority? It evaporates completely. Peasants would simply drop their plows, abandon the fields, and walk away to worship these mysterious metallic ships. Which brings us to a major pivot in the timeline in Section 3. Bypassing the Dark Ages, a 600-year scientific shortcut. This right here is where humanity bypasses centuries of slow, painful trial and error. Think about it. If these visitors share even a fraction of their knowledge, the Dark Ages just dissolve. First, basic germ theory is introduced, eradicating ancient plagues practically overnight. Talk about a game changer. Next, using local materials like copper and water mills, primitive electrical grids start lighting up cities way before the dawn of the Renaissance. Within a single generation, humanity is leaping directly into astrophysics and quantum mechanics.
Just picture the surreal scene taking place here. Ancient scholars who previously spent their entire lives debating, how many angels could dance on the head of a pin, are now sitting alongside extraterrestrial guides studying advanced calculus. They completely abandon their old theology to learn the actual inner workings of the universe. The acceleration of human intellect in this scenario would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen.
Let's fast forward to our present year and see how this builds into our final section, a utopian 2026, the future built on medieval foundations. By mapping this timeline out, we really see the incredible long-term legacy of a 14th century first contact. By integrating alien technology 600 years early, humanity completely skips the darkest parts of modern history. Because of that early tech transfer, we never even needed a coal-burning industrial revolution. We literally skipped it entirely. And with it, we totally avoided the existential crises of climate change and fossil fuel depletion. So by 2026, we've already achieved a unified, clean, spacefaring civilization. Instead of the polluted, divided world we know today, Earth becomes this breathtaking, automated utopia. Just imagine the sheer awe of looking at a skyline where majestic stone architecture, ancient castles, soaring cathedrals, grand medieval halls seamlessly blends with advanced glowing plasma energy networks.
It's a world that leaps straight from the Middle Ages into the cosmos, holding on to all its classical aesthetics while embracing limitless power.
And it doesn't stop on Earth either. Modern humans are no longer confined to their home planet. Now they're flying right alongside their ancient alien mentors, exploring deep space in starships adorned with the heraldic banners, family crests, and cultural artwork of a medieval world that reached for the stars. It is such a striking image, right? Sleek interstellar ships painted with the bold coats of arms of ancient kings, carrying an unbroken 14th century legacy straight into the deep unknown.
So it leaves us with this final provocative thought to take away from this explainer. By bypassing centuries of warfare, famine, and environmental struggle, could a medieval first contact have actually unlocked humanity's most perfect, unified future in the cosmos? Sometimes I think the most fascinating way to understand exactly where we are today is to imagine the incredible paths we never took.